Alright, guys. NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1. My opinion, I thought it was a great show. I'm just going to sit here and cut right to the chase. I thought NXT TakeOver last night was a great show. Great show. Lot of action. Really good action here. My match of the night, in my honest opinion, and people are going to say, oh, it's Io against Raquel. No. Good match, though. But my match of the night for night 1 is Walter and Tommaso Ciampa. That matchup was fantastic. Hard-hitting stuff. Jesus Christ. We're going to go over everything for night 1. Plus, I will go over the kickoff show, which only had one matchup, I believe. But I did come home from work, and I did watch TakeOver. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this is a great show. Great show. You know, the vibe was good. The vibe was there, but my only gripe here is that they had to have more fans there. They had to move out of the Capitol Wrestling Center, the PC, and put it like in an arena. Yeah, sure, it doesn't feel like TakeOver, but at the same time, this was a very good show. And I'm expecting night 2 to be a whole lot better than night 1. But this felt like a little weak, card-wise, but the action on this show was really, really good. But we're going to go over everything here. For night 1, I will cover night 2 later on tonight. As the show goes off the air, I'll be right here on YouTube covering night 2 of TakeOver. So, without any further ado, if you guys don't know who I am Chris. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel. If you guys enjoyed TakeOver last night, hit that like button. Leave a comment down below your thoughts on the show last night. And if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below and turn on both guys for notifications. Raw Review is live on the channel right now. The go-home show before WrestleMania, which will be on Saturday and Sunday. I will cover WrestleMania in its entirety on Sunday. So link to Raw Review will be down below in the description as well as in the upper hand corner of your screen in the annotation. Make sure you guys are following me on social media. Twitter at GoodVibesChris_, and Instagram at GoodVibesChris183. And also, if you guys want to follow me on TikTok as well, TikTok is DaddyChris183. So here we go, guys, with the kickoff show. Kickoff show had Sam Roberts and former MMA fighter Jimmy Smith. The Capitol Wrestling Center had a lot of more fans than usual, which I did see last night. Smith and Roberts run down the card for Stand and Deliver, and we see Io arriving at the arena earlier today, well, as of yesterday, with Zoey Stark, and then Dakota Kai and RAQUEL GONZALEZ arriving as well. They put a whole bunch of video packages and promos and stuff, which was good. I think the one and only kickoff show we had was Toni Storm against Zoey Stark. This match was good for what it was. I was surprised that Zoey Stark won here over Toni Storm, but it is what it is. It's freaking NXT. But I like Zoey Stark, her presentation and stuff. Toni, I love Toni, but I just can't take her serious, especially as a heel. I just can't. That's just my honest opinion. So both women trade shots, and Stark gets the better, then hits a few kicks. Storm looks for a German suplex, but Starks elbows her. Then hits a snapdragon suplex and a running knee to the face for a near fall. Toni counters Stark, gets her onto her shoulders for electric chair face buster for a near fall. Storm looks for Storm Zero, but Zoey escapes, lands a super kick for a 2 count. Storm catches Stark with a German suplex out of nowhere. Then another, Storm looks for Storm Zero again, but Stark counters, gets a small package, and picks up the victory. Shocking? Yeah, you could say so. Shocking. Shocking victory, but after what happened in the women's main event tonight, I don't know if Io is going to get, I don't know if Io is specifically going to stay in NXT. Most likely she's going to the main roster, but we'll talk about that as we get to the main event of the show. But Zoey Stark picks up you can say an upset victory over Toni Storm here on the kickoff show for TakeOver. Now, I love the presentation of Zoey Stark, don't get me wrong, but I think for a little bit she's starting to, build herself up in the women's division, which I like to see. I like to see the growth of the women in NXT. I love to see it, especially with Raquel. But good match here for what it was here for the kickoff show. Zoey Stark picks up a upset victory, I guess, over Toni Storm. We'll go over the rest of the kickoff show, which I believe that was about it, with the promos and everything else. MSK had an interview and stuff like that about winning the Dusty Cup and the Grizzled Young Veterans taking them out and stuff. We'll talk about that matchup as we get on with the show. So that was the kickoff show. Just one match and a bunch of promos, which was good for what it was. I heard Samoa Joe was talking to Ciampa, which was good for what it was. Nice to see Samoa Joe in NXT. So we got the main show here. We got Nina Strauss playing the Star Spangled Banner on a podium surrounded by the fans. In the Capitol Wrestling Center, lights go out and we get lights of thunder and lightning effects. Then the curtain falls and we see the pirate-themed stage with swords and a fiery skull, which is the theme, of course, for WrestleMania. Kicking off the show here, we have Pete Dunne going up against Kushida. This match was good for what it was. Listen, I love Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne is a fucking professional. I love Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne is so good. But this match was good for what it was against Kushida. Physical match, so very physical match here. Very, very physical. Love it. Absolutely love it here. Dunne headbutts Kushida and slowly things down and goes to work on the arm, you know, because he's fucking that much of a gangster here. Dunne stomps on the elbow, then forearms Kushida in the face for a 2 count. They go back and forth and quickly escape submissions until both men collapse. They slowly get up, butting heads in the process, and Kushida hits a drop kick. Dunne goes up top, but Kushida catches him with a springboard kick. Kushida climbs to the top rope, hits a flipping hoverboard lock, which was very impressive there by Kushida. Dunne reaches the ropes, forces a break, but Kushida wraps his arms against him, behind him. And this time Dunne gets a foot on the ropes. Kushida hits a Kimura again. And Dunne again hits the ropes. Dunne grabs the fingers and snaps them like the professional wrestler that he is, which I love fucking Pete Dunne. Then jumps on them. Dunne lands a kick to the head, then stomps their hands again before hitting the bitter end, which I love that finishing move, for the victory over Kushida. Good match here. I love this. Love the chemistry here between these two men here. I wonder what they're going to do with Pete Dunne following TakeOver. Does he go after the NXT Championship? I don't know. We don't know yet. Following night 2, we don't know what's going to happen next with Pete Dunne. I would love to see Pete Dunne. I mean, I don't want to downgrade Pete Dunne here. I really don't. But I would love to see Pete Dunne go after the North American Championship. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but in my opinion, against Gargano or against Bronson Reed or Dexter Lumis or anybody else in that division, I would love to see Pete Dunne against those type of guys for the North American Championship. I know that sounds a little downgrading, but you're not going to call up Pete Dunne to the main roster. You're not right now. Especially when NXT is being moved down to Tuesdays, which I will cover every single Tuesday. So, good match here with Pete Dunne against Kushida. Great chemistry. Match was hard-hitting, snapping for what it was with Pete Dunne. I love Pete Dunne so much in the ring. He's so fucking good. So Pete Dunne picks up the victory over Kushida. Next up is the Gauntlet match to determine the number 1 contender for Gargano tomorrow night, which is later on tonight, for the North American Championship. On his way to the ring is Leon Ruff, being attacked by Isaiah Swerve Scott, and those two men kicked off the Gauntlet match. So we got Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott kicking off the Gauntlet match. Then Bronson Reed enters. He came in at number 3. Cameron Grimes comes in at number 4. Dexter Lumis comes in at number 5. And LA Knight comes in at number 6. LA Knight was the last man entering this matchup here. The match was good. I love this Gauntlet match here. I was pulling for Dexter Lumis to win, but then again, I'm here thinking to myself, why are we having a Gauntlet match for a number 1 contender spot when Dexter Lumis himself pinned Gargano just a few weeks ago on NXT TV? I remember covering that show. I remember when Lumis beat Gargano, and I'm thinking to myself, why is Gargano losing on live television? I remember covering that show, and I said Pete Dunne, too much Pete Dunne here. And Dexter Lumis pinned Gargano. So shouldn't Dexter Lumis be next in line to face Gargano for the North American Championship? Why are we getting this Gauntlet match? I mean, I understand you want to get everybody on TakeOver because you're having a 2-night TakeOver. But at the same time, you didn't really need a gauntlet match here. Especially when Dexter Lumis pinned Gargano, remember, like 3-4 weeks ago, in a non-title match. So it should be Dexter Lumis tonight, or should I say night 1, should be Dexter Lumis against Gargano for the North American Championship. But I get why they're doing a gauntlet match, because, you know, they want to get everybody on the show because it's a 2-night takeover. So it is what it is at that point in time. So like I said, Isaiah Swerve Scott and Leon Rose kicked off the match. Bronson Reed comes in at 3. Cameron Grimes comes in at 4. Lumis comes in at 5. And LA Knight comes in last at number 6. So we got all these 6 men in the ring here and stuff. After, I forgot who eliminated who. Let's just sing in my notes here. Okay, so Cameron Grimes comes in at 4 and stuff. I don't know who eliminated who first. I'm looking at my notes here. Work, okay. Next entrant enters. So LA comes in last with a microphone and says this is his takeover. He kicks Reed on the ramp, calls him human trash, then says he'll help Grimes get to the moon with a punt. He continues talking trash on the ramp until Bronson Reed grabs him from behind and throws him into the ring. Knight is sent to the apron, but he kicks Reed and looks to leap over the ropes onto him, but he gets caught and gets hit with a Samoan drop. Grimes comes off the top rope, but Reed swats him out of midair. Reed then whips Grimes hard into the corner, and he flips over onto the ramp. Reed whips Swerve into the buckles, chest first, which is I hate that fucking spot. When they're getting Irish whip into the corner and their chest hits the fucking turnbuckle, shit hurts. Shit looks like it hurts. Then goes back onto LA Knight. Reed gets dropped. Then Knight goes on a rampage, including a superplex to Swerve. Grimes comes in. Lumis attacks Knight. And Lumis gets him in the silence. Knight covers Lumis and he chokes Lumis and eliminates him. So LA Knight eliminates Dexter Lumis. I was pulling for Lumis to win this match because he pinned Gargano 3-4 weeks ago in an on-title match. But shockingly, there you go. There you go. Grimes then slams Knight and Reed splashes him in the cover for 1-2-3. So Knight is gone. Knight rolls outside angry and Lumis grabs him with the silence and puts him to sleep. So I'm guessing that's the next feud with LA Knight and Dexter Lumis. That's the next feud. We're down to 3 now. They come together in the ring and trade shots. Grimes hits Reed, lips and throws Swerve onto Reed. Super kicks Reed while he holds Scott. Swerve then drops Grimes with the STO, and Reed falls on both of them. All 3 men slowly get to their feet, still trading shots back and forth. And Grimes and Swerve look to work together again. Reed chops them both, but gets double super kicked. Grimes ducks a clothesline before connecting with a spinning crossbody. Grimes gets rolled up and pinned by Swerve Scott. So we're down to 2. Isaiah Swerve Scott and Bronson Reed are the last 2 men in this matchup. I don't know how Ruff got eliminated, but it is what it is. I don't like Leon Ruff here. Scott clubs the body of Reed, but the big man drops him with a body attack. Bronson goes up top, but Swerve connects with a kick to the head. Swerve goes to the apron and basically power slams Reed from the top rope onto the edge of the apron. Swerve gets Reed back inside, hits a 450 splash for near fall. Very close near fall here. Swerve hits a house call and Reed gets up. Then Swerve hits another one. Scott looks for a third house call, but Reed grabs him by the throat. Swerve kicks him away, hits a third house call for near fall. Another close one there. Reed hits a power slam, vertebrae breaker, and a tsunami. I would never take that spot from Bronson Reed. He's a fucking big boy. You wouldn't pay me all the money in the world to take that spot from Bronson Reed. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck me. Fuck me. Bronson Reed wins the matchup with a tsunami from the top rope. Reed wins the matchup. He pins Isaiah Swerve Scott 1-2-3. Wins the matchup. Reed will face Gargano tomorrow night. Or should I stay later on tonight for night 2 tonight? For the North American Championship, Gargano comes out from the back and stares at Reed from the stage while holds his North American title up in the air above his head. Great matchup here. Great gauntlet match here. Bronson Reed wins. They was pushing him. I remember last year in 2020, they were pushing Bronson Reed, but they kind of stopped. Now they went back at it again. Reed against Gargano tonight in night 2 for the North American Championship should be good. Gargano and TakeOver, very good combination, especially with a guy like Bronson Reed. He's a big boy, very big boy. This should be good. I'm excited for this matchup as well. I'm more excited for night 2 than night 1, but I guess you could give the title to Reed. But then again, if Gargano is the best guy, the best competitor in that North American Championship division, he shouldn't drop that championship. But who knows? I got Reed winning that matchup. I think they're gonna push him hard tonight. They're probably gonna give him the championship in night 2 tonight against Gargano. Should be good. The match should be very, very good. UK Championship match. Walter against Tommaso Ciampa. This match was fucking awesome. For the amount of time that they got for this matchup, fucking awesome. Now, again, I said the same thing about Bronson Reed, that you couldn't pay me all the money in the world for me to take a tsunami from Bronson Reed. No. You couldn't pay me not 1 cent in this world to take a chop to the chest from Walter. It's like getting hit with a fucking frying pan. Good God. This match was fucking awesome. Love this matchup. In my opinion, this was the match of the night. For me. I don't know about you guys. People could say, oh, it was Raquel and Io. Was your match of the night? Or the tag team title match? Or the gauntlet match? Sure. Sure. But this match here, with Walter and Tommaso Ciampa, this match was awesome. I love this matchup here. Walter wants a powerbomb from Ciampa, bites his hand, and the beginning of this match was very physical. Very, very physical. I'm telling you. So Walter wants a powerbomb, but Ciampa bites his hand and he lets go. Walter forearms him, looks for another, but Ciampa takes him down with an armbar and twists his fingers. Walter gets to the bottom rope, but Ciampa holds on to hold until 4. Walter curls up and Ciampa pummels him with chops and stomps and right hands. Walter rolls to the apron, but Ciampa looks for Widow's Bell, but Walter slips off and grabs him for clubs to the chest like Sheamus. Again, I'm feeling it right here. Ciampa grabs a hand, but Walter headbutts him back and climbs the ropes. Ciampa jumps up and Walter looks for a powerbomb, but Ciampa gets him onto his shoulders, hits a top rope set, something cross, backbreaker for a near fall. Very close near fall there. Walter and Ciampa trade massive chops. Again, I'm fucking feeling it in the fucking chest here. In the middle of the ring, but Walter can't use his good hand because Ciampa was aiming at it this entire matchup. Walter grabs Ciampa by the throat, slams him down, then tries to lay on him for a pin, but Ciampa bridges. Walter lifts Ciampa, hits a powerbomb, then snaps his neck by using his feet before hitting another powerbomb and gets a near fall. This is awesome chance from the fans. Very great matchup here, and it was indeed awesome. Walter hits a release dragon suplex and a chop to the chest, to Ciampa, and picks up the victory. Walter retains the NXT UK Championship. Of course, he wasn't going to lose this matchup. He wasn't. I mean, who's going to beat Walter? You look at anybody from NXT and NXT UK, who can realistically beat Walter for the NXT UK Championship? Nobody. Nobody. This was good. This was a very good matchup here. Awesome match, in my opinion, the match of the night. Very good matchup here. I wonder what Ciampa does next after. I have no idea, because if Cross, and I do think Cross is going to win the NXT Championship. I do think so. But if Cross is going to win the NXT Championship, Ciampa could be his first opponent. I mean, they had their first match, I believe, at In Your House, at TakeOver last year, In Your House. Great matchup there for what it was there. But outside of Ciampa, who could be close, the closest to beat Cross, who in NXT is going to be able to beat him? Now, I do have a prediction on what they could do with Walter after the NXT Championship match, which we will go over later on tonight, for night 2. I do think if Cross does win the championship, I do think we get Cross and Walter at some point in the summer. I would love to see that. Combine the championships. Combine the championships. You can unify the championships, low-key. You can low-key unify the NXT and the NXT UK Championship, which we will go over at night 2, when night 2 is all set and done. So Walter wins. He retains the NXT UK Championship, in my opinion, the match of the night. For me, at least. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it was the match of the night. Bronson Reed's interviewed backstage, and he says he has waited a long time to get an opportunity like this. Gargano appears and tells him to enjoy the moment because tomorrow night will be a different story. Gargano says Reed better bring his gas tank because he's fresh as a daisy, and tomorrow night, Reed's fairy tale is over. Good segment there between those two men. I'm looking forward to that matchup later on tonight. Vacant NXT Tag Team Championship match, triple threat between Legado the Fantasma, MSK, and the Grizzled Young Veterans. Now, if you guys don't know, the reason why the NXT Tag Team titles was vacant because of, I believe, Only Lorcan suffered a separated shoulder, and Danny Burch could not defend it. I think Danny Burch is hurt. I don't know which of the two guys is hurt, but I think it's Only Lorcan. Or is it Burch? I have no idea. But one of those guys is hurt, and the other could not defend the championship by himself, so they had to vacate the championships. So, I was going for MSK to win this matchup. Now, sure, I would have not minded the Grizzled Young Veterans to win, because they are a heel tag team, and I much rather prefer the babyface tag team to chase. But I get why MSK won the tag team title, because eventually, when Only Lorcan and Danny Burch come back, and they're a heel tag team, they're gonna want that matchup against MSK, who won this matchup. Very good tag team match. I just thought it underwhelmed just a little bit, in my honest opinion, but it felt a little rushed. I don't know if you guys asked me. I don't know. It's just me. It's just me. I don't know about you guys, but I felt like this match was a little rushed. Just a little bit. But it was good. Very good tag team match for what it was here. Very good match for what it was. Very good match up here. I love it. I love it here. MSK wins. Lee looks to go on top, but Gibson punches him in the throat. Gibson grabs Lee's injured hand, holds it across the top turnbuckle, then Drake drop kicks it. Gibson tags in and slams Lee, then applies a wrist lock and tries to make him tap. Carter rushes in, but Drake grabs him and applies a submission of his own nearby. Carter grabs Lee's hand to prevent him from tapping. Lee looks about to tap anyway, but Mendoza and Wild break the submissions. Mendoza gets Drake on the shoulders, and Wild jumps on the Drake that smashes Gibson. Wild stands on Lee's hand. Then he and Mendoza hit a Russian leg sweep / running heel kick, but Lee kicks out. The action spills outside of the ring, and Gibson gets Wild on his shoulders. Then Drake hits a running clothesline off the ramp for Doomsday Device, which was a very good spot. I love watching the Doomsday Device. On the other side of the ring, Carter gets Mendoza on his shoulders, and Lee hits a double stomp off the apron. MSK and Grizzled Young Veterans look at each other from opposite sides of the ring, get in, and at the same time, the finals of the Dusty Cup revisit. Both teams come in to the middle of the ring and brawl. Lee gets knocked outside by Carter, avoids a double team, hits a springboard double cutter to Drake and Gibson. Carter lifts Gibson, tags Lee for a flying neck breaker, and they score the pinfall. MSK wins the NXT Tag Team titles in a very, very good matchup. After the match, MSK gets awarded the vacant Tag Team Championships, and the boys get a little emotional. Great match here. I'm expecting Only Lorcan and Danny Burch, when they come back, they get their NXT Tag Team title match because they basically never lost the titles. They basically never lost the titles anyway. So, I don't mind MSK winning. The matchup was great. I don't mind it, but at the same time, I'd rather prefer the heel team winning. So, a team like MSK comes out, chases them for the championships, which is a really good story. But at the same time, I do get why MSK wins the title here, because eventually, when Only Lorcan and Dunne Burst come back to TV, they got a title shot waiting for them because technically they never lost the titles. It was stripped from them because one of them was hurt with an injury on his shoulder. So there you go. I like it. MSK wins the titles. I don't mind it. I like it. Great match for what it was here on TakeOver Night 1, Stand and Deliver. The announcers run down the card for tomorrow's Night 1 for Night 2, which includes Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar in a ladder match to determine the true Cruiserweight Champion. I'm excited for that matchup as well. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly in a non-sanctioned match. I'm expecting blood in this matchup. I'm expecting a little bit of color in this matchup. As well as Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship. We'll talk about this show later on tonight as I cover Night 2 right here on the channel for your double upload Thursday. I am pretty much looking forward to Night 2. Stephanie McMahon is shown sitting at ringside beside NXT's newest signee, Japanese star, Starray. I don't know if you pronounce her name. I might have botched it. My fault. I apologize. Main event, folks. Main event. This is a pretty short review. 26 minutes. Very short review. Io Shirai defends the NXT Women's Championship against Raquel Gonzalez with Dakota Kai at ringside. Matchup was good. Great match here. Raquel Gonzalez looked good. And I must say about Io Shirai, she is the best woman right now. Outside of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. When you look at the women on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, Io Shirai, without a fucking doubt, is the best woman superstar in the entire WWE. This match was great. Kicked ass. But Raquel Gonzalez was the main star of this matchup. The main star here. Now, I'm thinking to myself, okay, a couple weeks back on March 10th, my last NXT review, when Regal awarded Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. They lost to them. They lost to Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon that same night. I didn't know why Raquel and Dakota dropped those titles. I didn't know why. But now I know why. They was going to push Raquel Gonzalez. They was going to push her. And I'm thinking, and I believe that same night where Raquel and Dakota lost the women's tag team titles, Io Shirai comes in and challenged Raquel Gonzalez to a title match at TakeOver. Now, I respect Io Shirai for doing that because Io has beaten all the women in NXT. Realistically, she's beaten them all. But she hasn't beaten Raquel Gonzalez yet. She hasn't beaten Raquel Gonzalez. And Io, as the great champion that Io Shirai is, she knows that she beaten everybody in the women's division in NXT, but she has to beat Raquel Gonzalez. And she felt that it's about time that the champion issues a challenge to the challenger, which I can respect. And I love that so much about Io Shirai. This match was great. But like I said, Raquel Gonzalez was the main star of this matchup. They gave Raquel Gonzalez the rocket strap. And in the main event of this takeover, they really had their eyes on Raquel Gonzalez. She's great in the ring. She's grown. I remember last year, or was it 2 years ago, I believe in 2018, that a friend of mine was at a house show and they had Raquel Gonzalez go up against Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. You see the growth in Raquel Gonzalez now. You see the growth, folks. You see the growth. She's great. She's great. Almost a year, 2 years ago, she was a legit nobody. Yeah, sure, she always compete in the Mae Young Classic a couple of times, but like I said, it's all about the growth. NXT is where stars and women grow. And you see the growth here, folks, in Raquel Gonzalez. Now, matchup González tries to crawl to the ropes and eventually gets her fingers on it. Raquel goes and rolls to the ramp, but Shirai gets on the top rope, hits a moonsault on her. Shirai rolls back inside, break the referee's count, then runs along the ramp, hits a Meteoro to González. The referee checks on Raquel, who slowly gets to her feet, excuse me, and looks all around for Shirai, who appears on top of the skull on the stage, and dives under González with a flying crossbody. I remember back at TakeOver in your house where Shirai was at the top of the house stage and landed on Rhea and Charlotte. I remember that very vividly. So Shirai slowly gets González back into the ring, goes up top for hit a moonsault, but Raquel kicks out. I thought at that point the match was over when Io hit the moonsault on Raquel. Raquel kicked out. Shirai is getting frustrated. She goes outside and runs at González, who clocks her with a big boot. Raquel lifts Io, hits a one-handed powerbomb to the floor. That looked crazy. González hits Shirai back into the ring, talks some trash to her before lifting her by the hair. Shirai uppercuts her, but González hits a lariat that turns her inside out. Sick lariat. González lifts Io, hits the one-handed powerbomb to pin Io and wins the NXT Women's Championship. We see replays of that intense matchup as Raquel is awarded with the title. González stands on the ramp and celebrates as smoke flies throughout the CWC and sparkets erupt from the swords on the stage as the show goes off the air. This was great. The way Raquel González looked with that NXT Women's Championship, she looks like a superstar with that championship. Now, Io was a great champion. Great champion. I smell her demise on the main roster. When Vince and Bruce grabs a hand of her, done. Io will be buried on the main roster in less than a month. Actually, I'll give it a month and a half. I'm being too generous. In a month and a half time, Io will be buried on the main roster. And she would wish she can go back to NXT. Io had a great title reign. But I think Raquel is going to take it up just a little bit better. She's good. She's great in the ring. Great look. Great in the ring as well. I think Raquel is going to give that NXT Women's Championship a little bit more of legitimacy. That's just me. Don't get me wrong. Raquel is great. Io did her thing. She gave that championship some legitimacy. It felt important. But I think, in my opinion, Raquel is going to give that championship more meaning and a little bit more legitimacy, in my honest opinion. This was great. TakeOver tonight, well, night one was fantastic. It was a great show. Looked a little weak card-wise, but the match order was perfect, in my opinion. Was just perfect. Night two tonight is going to be fucking awesome. What we got for night two? We got Devlin versus Escobar in that ladder match. We got Cole versus O'Reilly. That should be a fucking classic. Gargano versus Reed for the North American Championship. I believe the women's tag team title match as well will be on the line as well. The tag team titles for the women as well will be on the line. I think so. And we're getting Balor versus Cross, which I'm expecting will be a fucking hard-hitting fucking affair between those two men. And like I said, guys, night two will be on the channel later on tonight, as night one is officially in the books. Night two review will be later on tonight. Like I said, guys, night one was a very good show. Little weak card-wise, but the match order was great. Perfect. Night two should be a better show, in my honest opinion, which will be on Peacock later on tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you guys enjoyed NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1, hit that thumbs up. If you guys enjoyed the review, also hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment down below your thoughts on the show and your predictions, of course, for night two, which will be later on tonight. And if you guys are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell, guys, for all notifications. If you guys missed Monday Night Raw review, live on the channel right now, link to that video will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper hand corner of the screen, as well as down below in the description. Make sure you guys are following me on social media. Twitter, @GoodVibesChris_. Instagram at GoodVibesChris183. And TikTok at DaddyChris183. That's on TikTok as well. I will see you guys later on tonight or tomorrow. I'm deciding, but most likely I'm going to cover night 2. Most likely tomorrow night. If I feel like recording, I'll do it later on tonight. But most likely, I want to watch the show, digest it a little bit, and then I'll probably cover the show either tonight or tomorrow. I'll let you guys know on Twitter, which if I would cover the show tonight or tomorrow. But most likely, I will cover it tonight as part of a double upload. I will see you guys later on tonight for TakeOver Night 2. Again, guys, I am Chris. See you guys later on tonight for Night 2 of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Talk to you guys later.